Welcome friends of the Crawford Art Gallery to our Séamus Murphy Part 2 CorkAbout, and we're here at the Church of the Descent of the Holy Spirit in Dennehy's Cross in Cork, and we're here to have a look at another one of Séamus's sculptures, and this time it's a Madonna and Child, and it's a limestone piece dating back to 1952. So this is a great example of Séamus's work and the influence that his time spent in Paris, as we mentioned earlier, back in 1932 after winning the Gibson Bequest Scholarship to travel, and the influence that meeting with other artists and being exposed to other artworks had on his style of work, and how the simplicity of line is very evident here. The beautiful lines, even from her hairline right down here across to the fabulous way that he's managed to show us the swaddling of the baby, how he's wrapped here in fabric, all done with beautiful simple lines but very effectively shown, and how the naturalism is still expressed in her hand and in her face. And it's wonderful because this piece here is at shoulder height, so we're able to actually, it's a very tactile piece, and we're able to be very close to this sculpture. Whereas when we go on further into the grounds of the Bon Secours Hospital, where there's another Madonna and Child, it's right above our heads, and unfortunately we don't have the opportunity to get a good close eye up to it. So this time now we've come on a little bit in years and in kilometres, just a slight kilometre or two down the road from Dennehy's Cross, and we've gone from 1952 to 1958, and we're standing in the grounds of the Bon Secours Hospital looking at another Madonna and Child of Séamus Murphy's, but this time it's made from Portland stone, and this particular piece is what is described as being a hero figure because it stands at 183 centimetres high, so taller than the average human, so it's described as being a hero figure. And if you have a look at this piece carefully, we'll see that the expression on the face of the Madonna is still quite pious. However, it's not as sombre as it was in the previous Madonna and Child that we saw in Dennehy's Cross, and this time she's holding her child in an outward fashion, and she's not cradling him right next to her heart. So another wonderful piece, and we'll see the lines are slightly more rounded in this piece and a bit more slightly more decorative and not as simple in the flow of the robe and in the gather of the robe on her arm. So Bernadette and myself have journeyed on another bit further into town, into the grounds of U.C.C. in search of Séamus Murphy's St. Finbarr's statue. So Séamus returns to Cork in 1933, where work is quite scarce for sculptors and for artists, and he reconnects with Daniel Corkery. Daniel was his teacher back in St. Patrick's National School when he was a young boy, and was very influential in Séamus's life. He was the one who encouraged him into the night classes in the Crawford School of Art at the time, and helped him on his journey through his apprenticeship with John O'Connell's in Blackpool. Daniel Corkery, of course, was very much part and parcel of the U.C.C. scene here at the time, and very well acquainted with the academics. And Séamus himself was very much liked. He had a very, very warm, humorous personality, and he attracted a lot of the patronage of U.C.C. academics and some of the more notable families, for example, the Barrys. After much perseverance, we found him, and He is, I don't know how we missed him, 7 foot tall, sitting on the top apex of the Aula Maxima. And it was 1933 that the U.C.C. commissioned him to replace an existing statue that was here at the time of Queen Victoria. And we would love to be able to get a closer view of him, because actually what we did notice is that he's quite different, this St. Finbar. It's much more secular in comparison to the Portland stone St. Finbar that he was commissioned for in 1935, 2 years later, for St. Finbar's Church in Bantry. That one would be much more ecclesiastical in style. So this one goes back to the radical reduction of lines and back to the modernist influence that he would have been experiencing from his time in Paris. And in 1935, he held a large exhibition here of 16 of his sculptures, and it was opened by Daniel Corkery, again the man who started him off on his career and who was a huge influence on throughout his life. So this exhibition that he had here in 1935 in the Aula Maxima brought great attention to him and helped for him to further on his work in the bronze, cast bronze figurative heads that were commissioned later on. And we're going to pop down now to Fitzgerald's Park to have a look at some of those commissions down there.